Hey guys, Sam here and welcome back to another FIFA 17 experiment. If I look a little bit tired, I've slept a total of about an hour over the last like 30 to 40 hours. So I'm not doing the best. Let's put it that way. I'm not doing the best. If I make any mistakes during this video, I do apologize. I'm gonna have to put it down to the tiredness. But today we are looking at a subscriber suggested idea, which is what you guys love. It's what I love. Getting your guys' opinions on what you want to see and turning them into videos. Now this comes from ProLime4 HD, and this is a guy who joins the streams occasionally, and he has been waiting for this experiment for a very long time. I also do know that it was his birthday recently. I'm not sure how many days ago it was, but happy birthday to you, ProLime HD, if you are watching. His suggestion is, what if every 88 plus, I'm assuming, rated player went to their first club? His idea is a fantastic one. Now, there are some prerequisites before we go into this. First of all, I'm going to be using their first senior team. I'm not going to be using youth teams because that's a bit too much of digging, and there's some youth teams that aren't in FIFA, obviously. I'm going to go with their first senior club, whether or not they made 1 appearance there or 100 appearances there. We're going to be looking at the first senior club. If that player is already at their first senior club, for example, Messi, despite coming through at Barcelona C, I still count that as Barcelona, he will not be included in the video, similar to Andres Iniesta and Paul Pogba. Granted, Pogba's was a little bit different, he moved and came back, but he's still at his same senior club, and the whole point of this experiment is to see what would happen if players went back to their first senior club. Additionally, there are some clubs that just aren't in the game. I don't know what the club is, but off the top of my head, I know that Petr Cech's first club is not in the game. So players that don't have a first club in the game also will not be participating in this. There's 21 different players because 2 of these elite players came from the same first club, and you guys probably wouldn't have guessed it, but you will find out shortly. Which means this is a 20-team league. There's teams that are really good, there's teams that are really bad. I think the experiment part of this will be a little bit biased, but in terms of just seeing where these players came from and seeing what impact they could make on their teams, this should be a very interesting video. So thank you so much, ProLime4 HD, for the suggestion. If you guys want to give your suggestion in the comment section below, please do leave them in the comment section, and they could potentially be videos. And also, you can like the video to show your support and to keep us doing this interaction using your guys' ideas. Leave a like for ProLime, and let's get into the video. Before we actually get into the experiment portion, we'll do a really quick look at which players are going back to which clubs, then we'll get into the simulation. So without further ado, these are the 21 players that we'll be using in today's experiment. Okay, kicking things off with Pepe, and he came through the Portuguese side, Marítimo, but he came through the B squad and then the A squad. He was there between those two, between 2001 and 2004, before moving to Porto and then Real Madrid. Arturo Vidal came through his homeland of Chile, as many of these players did. He came through Colo-Colo and he made 36 appearances for the club over 2 years. Leonardo Bonucci spent 4 years at the Inter Milan senior squad. He made a total of 4 appearances across all competitions for Inter Milan before moving to Bari on a permanent deal. James Rodriguez's first senior club was Envigado in Colombia. It was also his youth team since 1995. This is a team that he was at since he was 4 years of age. He only ended up spending 1 year in the senior squad, but he did make 30 appearances and scored 9 goals for the club. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was at AC Milan for 3 years. However, he was loaned out for all 3 years and technically never actually played a game for AC Milan, which had me debating whether or not he should be here, but it was his first senior squad before getting a permanent deal to Saint Etienne, where he really made his name. I'm sure a lot of you didn't know that AC Milan was his first senior squad, but I'm sure they're missing him right now, that's for sure. More well known for his stint at Lyon, Hugo Lloris actually came through at Nice, through the B team and then finally the A team. He was there for 6 years across both those two and made 97 appearances under the Nice banner. This one is probably one of the less surprising ones. Toni Kroos came through the Bayern Munich Youth Academy, and he played for the second team and the first team. Spanning those 7 years, Toni Kroos made a total of 205 appearances for Bayern Munich before his move to Real Madrid, where he's really excelled his game and really can compete as one of the best midfielders in the world. Again, one that might not be too surprising. He's only had 2 senior clubs, and his first one was Real Sociedad. We are talking about Antoine Griezmann. He played with Real Sociedad across 5 seasons, and he made 201 appearances, scoring 52 goals, more of a winger at Real Sociedad, and was really where he made his name in those last couple of seasons that earned him that transfer to Atletico Madrid that has since seen him being regarded as the 3rd best player in the world, if you're taking a look at Ballon d'Or. Another man that played for Atletico Madrid is Sergio Aguero. However, that was not his first team. His first team was Independiente from the Argentine Primera Division. He spent 4 years at Independiente, making 56 appearances and scoring 23 goals, so a decent goal-to-game ratio, if you don't mind. At the youth club since he was 10 years of age, Sergio Ramos came through the Sevilla Youth Academy. He played for both the B and the A senior teams over 3 years, and he made 50 appearances for the club before his move to Real Madrid, and the rest is history. Spending 3 years at River Plate, Gonzalo Higuain was here at a very young age in the youth development process. He played for the senior squad over 3 years. He made 41 appearances and scoring 15 goals, which earned him his move to Real Madrid. Some of you may remember Eden Hazard at Lille, some of you may not. He spent 5 years at the French team and actually led them to a league title in 2010-2011, where he personally played 54 games. All up, he's played 194 games for Lille, and he scored 50 goals in his time there, and he was the hot topic before moving to Chelsea. Playing for both the B and the A team, Jerome Boateng actually began his senior career at Hertha Berlin, the capital of Germany. He spent 3 years at Hertha Berlin and he made a total of 35 appearances. Kevin De Bruyne's first club was Genk in his homeland of Belgium, where he made a total of 113 appearances for the club over 4 years and scored 17 goals. But for 3 of those years, he was not alone. He had Thibaut Courtois with him, who made 45 appearances for the club over 3 years. 44 of them actually came in 1 season, his last season at the club, which earned him his move to Chelsea and subsequently his loan move to Atletico Madrid. So obviously, Chelsea were interested in the Belgians. He's played all over the world at 8 different senior clubs, but his first one, as many people know, was Malmö. Zlatan Ibrahimovic made 47 appearances for the Swedish club over 3 years, and he scored 18 goals in his 47 appearances before moving to Ajax. A lot of people remember him at Spurs, but not a lot of people would remember him at Southampton. Coming through as a left back in Southampton, he made 45 appearances for the club over 2 years, scoring 5 goals, and it was his second season at Southampton where he made 43 appearances that earned him his move to Tottenham, where he really developed as a player. De Gea has become one of the best goalkeepers in the world at Manchester United, but was part of the Atletico Madrid youth system since he was 13 years of age, and he played for both the B and the A team in the senior level. He spent 3 years at the club, both with the B team in the Segunda Division and the senior team in La Liga, and he made 84 appearances for the club before his move to Manchester United. Sticking with the theme of goalkeepers and sticking with players that have moved to massive clubs and came through youth systems, ever since he was 5 years of age, Manuel Neuer was at the Schalke Youth Academy. He was in the Youth Academy for 14 years, and despite the fact that we're not talking about the Youth Academy, that is pretty nuts. He played for Schalke for both the B team and the A team across an 8-year period and made 232 appearances combined under the Schalke banner. It's kind of crazy to think that this was 4 or 5 years ago, but I remember the days when Neymar was the new hot talent from Brazil. You watched videos of this guy doing skills and you just thought, holy shit, who is this guy? But he was at his original club in Brazil, Santos, for a total of 5 years, and he made 225 appearances, scored 136 goals for the club. In relation, he's only played 186 games at Barcelona, so he was there for a long time, came through as a very, very young player in 2009, and really made a name for himself, and now has gone on to really be one of the best players in the world. But my god, it feels like just the other day, Neymar was the new 18-year-old kid on the block, but he's 25 years now. 7 years ago, he was just that new kid coming through the ranks. How time flies. 25 years. How is Neymar 25 already? And last but not least, it's the holder of 3 of the last 4 Ballon d'Or titles, Cristiano Ronaldo coming through at Sporting Clube de Portugal. He played for the B team and the A team like many of these players did. He played for both teams in the same year and made a total of 33 appearances, scoring 5 goals, but it was one game against Manchester United where the United players said, you have to sign this kid. They were telling Sir Alex Ferguson, you have to sign this kid, which earned him his move to Manchester United, a very famous move. He became one of the best players in the world at Manchester United. He won a Champions League and then obviously has moved on to Real Madrid where he's hit even greater heights. Surely one of the best, if not the best, to come out of Sporting is Cristiano Ronaldo. But that is it. That is the 21 players that will be playing for these 20 different clubs in this league today. There are some favorites, there's some really good teams, there's some really bad teams. Obviously there's going to be favorites, but you never know with FIFA 17 experience, with these simulated tournaments, you guys have watched me enough to know, and I'm sure you've watched other people enough to know, that these experiments can go any which way. It doesn't matter what kind of club you are, you could come first, you could come last. So without further ado, let's take a look at how these teams are doing halfway through the season. Okay, it's a good thing I said that anything can happen, because halfway through the season, Malmö are first. This is obviously a Malmö side with Ibrahimovic, so I'm assuming he's had a massive impact on the team. 3 losses, but 12 wins on the board. They've scored 32 goals so far, 4 more than any other club, and they have a 2-point advantage over AC Milan, who are doing very well. I'm sure Aubameyang has played a part. They obviously already have a decent team as well. Bayern Munich, I'd say one of the favourites, are in 3rd. You have Sporting with Ronaldo in 4th, Lille with Hazard in 5th. And you got, taking a look at down the ladder, you can see various teams. There are some teams that are doing a lot better than I thought, like Marítimo for Pepe and Portugal, 11th. That's pretty good. I thought they'd maybe be a little bit lower down the table. There's also some underperforming teams. I'd say Atletico Madrid is the one that stands out. They're in 17th position with David De Gea as well. So just 3 wins for them out of the 19 games. You could also argue maybe Schalke, Inter, and Southampton are underperforming, but I mean, I don't know. It's not too big of a gap there between 7th and maybe 14th. It's only a 7-point gap. It's not too big, and I'm sure things are going to change in the last half of the season. That's another thing you guys should know by the time you've watched all these. You should know that a lot of things change. So without further ado, let's take a look at the end of the season. Which of these players has a bigger impact? I'm assuming a lot of things are going to change, but enough wasting time. Let's have a look at the end of the season. Okay, at the end of the season, and it is Sporting Clube de Portugal who have actually made a pretty big leap, not too big, 4th to 1st, but a decent effort there. And they've actually come first with Cristiano Ronaldo. He is the best player in the world at the moment, so it's tough to say that it's not a surprise, but based on the rest of their team, I would have expected them to be maybe 5th or 6th, but to pull out first, especially ahead of a team like Bayern Munich, I think is a hell of a performance there. So 70 points for them on the board, and they scored the exact same amount of goals as Bayern Munich. They had a slightly better defense, and that maybe is what got them those 3 extra points. Because as you can see, Bayern lost 1 less game than Sporting, but maybe lost it on 1 goal in a game where they lost the game. So very, very tight margins. Bayern Munich, as I said, in 2nd. AC Milan in 3rd with Inter in 4th. So Inter a very strong second half of the season. Real Sociedad in 5th. Independiente in 6th. I think that's a pretty good accomplishment for the Argentine team. Schalke in 7th. Sevilla in 8th. Nice, who drew 21 games in the season. They only lost 6. They lost the least amount of games, along with AC Milan in 9th position. Is absolutely insane. Even if you just take a look at their goal difference, it's up there with Inter Milan's, but they drew 21 times, which is absolutely crackers. Henk came in 10th, despite having both De Bruyne and Thibaut Courtois in their team. They could only manage a 10th place finish, so I'm assuming that comes down to the rest of the team. They were tied on points with Hertha Berlin and Southampton. Lille came in 13th with Malmö dropping from 1st halfway through the season, top of the table with 12 wins, to 14th at the end of the season, 13 wins. Only 1 in 19 they won in the second half of the season. With Atletico Madrid not really doing any better. They came 15th. So really, they just had an overall a really bad season, and I have no idea why, because their team is decent, and they had David De Gea as well. Plus, they have Jan Oblak as their other goalkeeper, so I'm not sure what happened there at Atletico Madrid. River Plate coming in 16th, with Marítimo dropping down to 17th. Santos, I actually thought would do a little bit better, coming in 18th, and really a big gap between 17th and 18th there. Colo Colo coming in 19th, and then Envigado in 20th. So it's James Rodriguez who finishes last in this league. Instead of taking a look at the top goal scorers, we're going to go through every single team by alphabetical order and see which of the players had the biggest impact, starting with David De Gea, who only played 6 games. For Atletico Madrid, it was Jan Oblak who played 18, Morera who played 11, so I'm not sure exactly what's happened there at Atletico Madrid. Why have they not picked David De Gea? It's beyond me, it really is. Maritimo's Pepe made 31 appearances for the club, so he was the key centre-back, so at least one of these teams is using their players correctly. He only picked up 4 yellow cards and didn't pick up a red card, so not sure where the realism there is from FIFA, but he did score a goal, which is actually pretty decent. Arturo Vidal for Colo-Colo played 35 games in the season, scoring 4 goals and grabbing 5 assists. He picked up a red card, so he's picking up the slack for Pepe. James Rodriguez for Envigado, who came last. He played 37 of the 38 games, scored 7 goals and grabbed 2 assists as well. Toni Kroos's return to Bayern Munich earned him 32 appearances for the club, scoring 3 goals and picking up an assist. Schalke's Manuel Neuer played 31 games for the club. He kept 10 clean sheets, which is decent. Good job, Manuel. Jerome Boateng's return to Hertha Berlin was a decent one. He played 24 games, so a lot of sharing between him, Langkamp, and Brooks there in terms of the centre-back position, but he was a part of more clean sheets than the other centre-backs. He was part of 7 of those clean sheets. Didn't even pick up a red card. Good work, Boateng. Sergio Aguero's return to Independiente, and I thought maybe the reason they played so well was because of Aguero, but he only picked up 4 goals and 4 assists. If you take a look at Martin Benitez down there, picked up 13 goals and 8 assists, so maybe he was the key man, but I'm sure Sergio Aguero had a part to play. Bonucci's return to Inter Milan saw him sharing the centre-back duties with Miranda and Murillo, but he was part of 6 clean sheets, more than those other 2, and he picked up 2 assists, and I'm not surprised because he has some very good long passing, so I'm sure that one of his long distributor balls did find someone up top, and he was a part of the team defensively and offensively. Moving on to Henk, they obviously have 2 players. The first one, Thibaut Courtois, he picked up 23 appearances, kept 5 clean sheets as well, so a decent effort there. And Kevin De Bruyne, he played 34 games with 7 goals and 6 assists, running things through midfield. Eden Hazard's return to Lille saw him getting 27 appearances on the left wing, 5 goals, 3 assists. Zlatan Ibrahimovic at Malmö, picking up 20 goals in all 38 games. Holy moly. The first player so far that we've looked at that played every single game in the league, and what a campaign he had, averaging a 6.9 rating. That's pretty decent, Zlatan. I'm not even gonna lie. But please, tell me how you dropped from 1st to 14th in the league in half. How did you drop all that way in half a season, Zlatan? Come on. Moving on to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at AC Milan, and they're not short of strikers, so he was playing along with Carlos Bacca and Lapadula as well, but he scored 5 goals and picked up an assist. Maybe not the best from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Hugo Lloris's return to Nice got him 18 appearances, 4 more than Cardinal. He kept 6 clean sheets in those 18 games. Antoine Griezmann played 26 games for Real Sociedad with 7 goals and 1 assist. Gonzalo Higuain played 27 games for River Plate, 6 goals, 6 assists. Nice and even there from Higuain. Neymar's return to Santos saw him play 38 games, the second player out of these players that have played 38 games. He scored 14 goals and 3 assists, so a decent return there from Neymar. Sergio Ramos, playing at Sevilla, got 1 goal in his 33 appearances for the club. He was part of 10 clean sheets, and he picked up 4 yellow cards. Not a single red card to his name again. Where the hell is the realism from FIFA? Gareth Bale played 30 games for Southampton, 7 goals and 4 assists. And Cristiano Ronaldo, last but not least, only played 27 games for Sporting. I would have expected a little bit more, but he did score 11 goals and 2 assists in those 27 games. And at the end of the day, Sporting won, so who really cares how many goals he picked up, right? He's winning everywhere he goes. All this guy does is win. That is it. That is the end of today's experiment, guys. Thank you so much, ProLime, for this suggestion. I'm sorry it's been a few days since you guys have gotten a video. I had a mate's going away party over the weekend, then I came back the next day. Couldn't get the video done in time, so I'm getting it out to you guys today. There will be a stream later as well, and hopefully we can do a couple of daily uploads back to back to back and get into a run of form again. But yeah, I do want to apologize real quick for the lack of videos. But of course, if you guys keep leaving your suggestions in the comment section below, we'll keep making your videos, because you guys have some cracking ideas and you're very intelligent people, just across the board, to be honest. So thank you so much for your support, and thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. I'm not going to hold you guys here any longer. I hope you did enjoy today's video. I hope you had a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one very soon. Keep it real.